my name is Victoria Jersich, and I'm an air quality specialist with Mecklenburg County Air Quality. Thank you for joining me today as we read The Magic School Bus Gets Cleaned Up. The Magic School Bus Gets Cleaned Up was prepared with the help of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA. It was written by Kristen Earhart and illustrated by Carolyn Bracken. Clean School Bus USA is sponsored by the U.S. EPA, a program to protect children's health. School buses carry 25 million of our nation's children each year, and they are the safest way to get children to school. Unfortunately, many school buses, especially older ones, emit hazardous gases and particles. Clean School Bus USA is a program to help communities protect children's health by reducing pollution from diesel school buses. New technologies make bus emissions cleaner. Modern buses are equipped with up-to-date emission control technologies, but even older buses can take advantage of cleaner technologies and fuels. Particulate filters, like the one installed on the Magic School Bus in this book, can reduce pollution from older buses by 90% or more. In addition, existing school bus fleets with modern emission control devices, communities can adopt better idling policies, use cleaner fuels, and replace very old buses. All these practices will help keep the air cleaner and all of us breathing it safer. Let's get started. If we've learned one thing in Miss Frizzle's class, it's to be ready for anything. Miss Frizzle is full of surprises. Today we're starting a new science unit about air pollution. We've learned about some far out things with Frizz, but air pollution sounds like something to get choked up about. Air pollution, substances in the air that cause problems for people and nature. It's that time again, Miss Frizzle announces. When we see the sparkle in her eyes, we all know we're in for a class trip. We never go on normal field trips, Arnold groans. Yeah, but we're just studying the air, Tim says. What could be more normal than that, Wanda agrees. We could be going anywhere, because air pollution can get everywhere. When Air Gets Dirty, by Dorothy Ann. Air is naturally clean, but pollution can make it dirty. Pollution can be gases or bits of junk that can harm living things. We were just leaving the school when Miss Frizzle gasped. I forgot my map, our teacher exclaimed. I'll go get it. Stay on the bus, kids. When Miss Frizzle left, our bus started to shake. Uh-oh. We felt a jolt and heard a cough. Gasp, hack, wheeze, cough. The Magic School Bus is sick. Look at all that smoke. Poor bus, poor us. Burning More Than Rubber by Carlos. When fuel burns in an engine, some leftover stuff comes out the tailpipe. This stuff is called exhaust. The exhaust from school buses can be harmful. When a bus is parked while the engine is running, it is called idling. Idling makes unnecessary exhaust. With each cough, the bus got smaller. We got as small as a dust particle, and we saw lots of stuff in the air. Yuck, what is that? Wanda asked. That's particulate matter from the buses, Dorothy Ann said. It's usually way too small for us to see. But it pollutes the air and makes it dirty, Tim said. The pollution bits are so small they can go places they shouldn't, like in our lungs. What is particulate matter? By Tim. Most school buses use a kind of fuel called diesel. Diesel exhaust contains billions of bits of soot called particulate matter. These bits of soot can be so small that thousands could fit on the dot at the end of this sentence. Because the bits are so small, the wind can carry them for many miles. Oh no, Phoebe called, pointing out the front window. The wind blew us straight at Mr. Rivera, the crossing guard. Look out! A strong gust of wind blew Mr. Rivera's nose. Ew, are those nose hairs? Gross. They're not gross, they're good. Very good. Mr. Rivera didn't know we were inside him. The nose hairs help filter out big particles from the air so that they don't go into the lungs, DA tells us. The bus was so tiny it slipped right through the hairs. We were headed down the windpipe. Where's your class, Miss Frizzle? The class started its trip without me, Mr. Rivera. I'm meeting them soon. Kids and Pollution by Ralphie. Kids can be at great risk from pollution. Kids' bodies are still growing, so pollution affects them more. Kids breathe faster, so they take in more air. And we're short, so we're close to the exhaust. Once we were in the lungs, we could see that Mr. Rivera had breathed in stuff other than air. Smaller particles can go even deeper into the lungs, DA told us. I could use a breath of fresh air. Mr. Rivera could too. The lungs started to exhale, and we began to go faster than ever. A high-pitched sound rang through the bus. It's a whistle, Rhonda yelled over the noise. Mr. Rivera had blown his whistle, and we were shooting out straight out into the air. The wind caught our bus and blew it into the sky. Our bus was still sputtering and wheezing. We went higher and higher with each cough. Look, Tim called. There's Miss Frizzle. She's getting on the bus with Miss Burke's class. The bus needs our help. We need Miss Frizzle's help. May I ride with you to meet my class, Miss Burke? We could see Miss Burke's bus far below. It was leaving the school and turning onto the highway. Follow that. Diesels pollute, so why do we use them? By Carlos. People use diesel-fueled engines because they do important work, are powerful and efficient, and last a long time. Other things that use diesel engines include tractors, trains, ships, bulldozers, trucks, dump trucks, and buses. Now we can glide down and get Miss Frizzle's attention, DA called. I hope my class is enjoying its trip without me. A Different Fuel by Phoebe. Regular diesel fuels come from underground and we can use them up. Once they're gone, we can't get any more. Biodiesel fuels come from plant or animal sources. We can always make more, and they're better for the environment too. Do we see any diesel engines on this page? I see a truck, a train, and a dump truck. Then the wind blows right past Miss Frizz's window in Miss Burke's bus. She was busy examining her map. She didn't seem to see us, but when she shook her keys, something funny happened to the bus. Look, she's looking at the map of the inside of an engine. I have a bad feeling about this. The wind blew us up to the front of Miss Burke's bus. Where are we going? Keisha asked. According to my research, DA said as she looked in her book, we're moving in the air into the engine of Miss Burke's school bus. I've never been that into buses. We're taking a trip to the bus's engine, DA told us. Right now, we're in the engine block, she said, and pointed to the picture in her book. To get out, we need to follow the exhaust to the tailpipe. It's hot in here. That's because of the burning fuel. I knew I should have stayed home today. A trip through a diesel engine. Fuel and air go into an engine block. Fuel is burned in the engine block and makes exhaust. The exhaust goes through a pipe. The pipe can have things to clean the exhaust. Look at us, cried Wanda. We're covered with bits of soot. We've left the engine block. Now we're in the exhaust system, DA explained. Pollution and soot can be left after the fuel burns. We're all covered in particulate matter. Exhaust was everywhere. It was extremely dirty. My mom's never going to believe this. My dad thinks I'm dirty after baseball. How will we find Miss Frizzle? Phoebe asked. Then we noticed that the exhaust was going into a special device, and we were going with it. DA looked in her book. My research shows that this filter traps almost all the particulate matter. Here we see a particulate matter filter with the particulate matter and unburned fuel, exhaust from the engine block, gas, soot, and filtered pollutants. But we're still passing through. The walls are collecting pollution like a sponge. Clean exhaust goes to the tailpipe. After we went through the filter, we were all clean again. When we heard the familiar voice, it was Miss Frizzle. It's wonderful that you already had a filter put on your bus, Mrs. Burke, but I'm looking forward to having one put on my bus as well. The Frizz said, we're clean. My mom's never going to believe this. Clean as a Whistle by Phoebe. Old diesel buses can make dirty exhaust. Many of them don't have good filters. Now, new filters can be installed in old buses to reduce up to 90% of the particulate matter in their exhaust. With the filter, bus exhaust is much less harmful. Suddenly, we were in an auto shop, and we had on mechanics outfits. Miss Frizzle was there with a mechanic. "Class, this is Mr. Spencer," said Miss Frizzle. "He's going to put a filter on our bus that will clean the exhaust so the bus won't be sick anymore." We all nodded. After our trip through the engine, we all knew how important Mr. Spencer's work was. The filter is great, but there are other ways to reduce bus pollution. The Clean Air Checklist. Number 1, ask your bus driver to turn off the engine when the bus is parked. Number 2, keep up with bus maintenance. Number 3, use cleaner fuels like clean diesel fuel or biodiesel. Number 4, line buses up side to side, not front to back at school. Number 5, get old buses fitted with exhaust clean devices like filters and catalysts. Number 6, replace really old diesel buses with new clean diesel or compressed natural gas buses. We helped Mr. Spencer install the particulate filter. Then we got ready to head back to school. Vroom, vroom, the bus purred to life. We were glad the bus was healthy again. There's no more smoke. The bus is better than ever. Other buses can get better too, but our bus will always be the weirdest bus. Good news! Starting in 2007, all new diesel school buses will have built-in particulate matter filters with more improvements that came in 2010. A phone call to Spencer's. Ring, ring. Mr. Spencer. Spencer's the bus mechanic you can trust. Caller. Hello, Mr. Spencer. I'm not so sure people should trust you. Mr. Spencer. That's ridiculous. Caller. But you're in this book that says buses can shrink and fly. Mr. Spencer. Okay, but... And what about saying that kids can pass through a bus filter? Mr. Spencer. We all know that can't really happen, but... And I heard that you wear a wig. Now wait just 1 minute. My hair is all natural. It is? And what about the information in this book? That's all for real too. Well, except for the shrinking and flying buses and kids passing through filters. Besides, this bus is a book about a magic school bus. Huh. I guess you're trustworthy after all. You betcha. Thank you everyone for listening to our story today. I hope you learned a lot about school buses and ways that we can help clean the air by having newer, cleaner school buses or installing a particulate filter like in the Magic School Bus on school buses around our community.